Good morning, guys. I'm just on my way to work this morning. In today's video, I am going to talk about Celtic polytheism and whether it's a closed practice, an open practice, semi-open, semi-closed, about cultural appropriation, whether you can cause cultural appropriation or whether you cannot. So I just want to thank Anya, Clina and Angus for the sun today. I do see Aphrodite as the Greek counterpart to Anya, Clina, so polytheism, and Eros, Angus, and also Pegasus for the sun as well. So it was quite an interesting night last night because I ended up watching a program on YouTube and about whether someone's views on Celtic polytheism, whether it is an open practice, whether it's a closed practice. But I'm going to give you my own personal view about it. So let's get rolling. So first off, is Celtic polytheism a semi-open practice, semi-closed practice, or a closed practice, fully closed practice, or an open practice? Celtic polytheism is a fully open practice. It's not something that should be gatekept by saying that it's semi-open or semi-closed or not open at all. I'm very much a non-gatekeeping person, so you're hearing this from someone who doesn't gatekeep, who's really very much against gatekeeping. I don't personally think that it's appropriate for me personally to do it. I don't appreciate it. I literally render the word. I didn't really understand at first what gatekeeping was, and I generally think it isn't really a word that I initially should have heard of anyway. So because I'm not a gatekeeper person, Celtic polytheism is an open practice. You don't need to be Irish, Scottish, Welsh. You don't need to have any Irish bloodline in you to work with deities. I use the term work for worship, to work with the deities from Celtic polytheism. I am quite new to this path, but I do know my facts about it enough so far, and my own personal views, but I am doing my own thing when it comes to Celtic polytheism, so mine's not really through sources or anything like that. So if you're against that, which I should have said before the video, just add that bit in there, then this video really wouldn't be for you. So as I was saying, so do you need to go to like Irish teachers to find about Celtic polytheism? Well, the answer to that is it depends how traditional you want to get with it. I mean, me personally, for me, I don't go through Irish teachers. I go through reliable books online. Like I've ordered a book by Morgan Daimler, and she wrote Pagan Portals, Ancient Gods of Ireland, Polytheism, and then she wrote another book called Pagan Portals, Ancient Goddesses of Ancient Ireland. by the same author, and I've also got a Celtic mythology. So because I'm not getting really traditional with it, I go through them sort of sources. But if you want to go through Irish teachers, it all depends how traditional you want to get. And let's talk about cultural appropriation. Now, there may be some Irish people that Germany may gatekeep and say, if they are saying that Americans and American Irish people and that English Irish people, like myself, I do have an Irish heritage, so that makes me, part Irish. And if they're actually saying that those people like myself are cultural appropriating, when you have an Irish heritage, whether you're American Irish or English Irish, when you do have an Irish heritage, that makes you part Irish, so you are entitled to be involved in Celtic polytheism. You can't cultural appropriate your own culture. Like the ancient Irish before the Celts invaded Ireland, they're my ancestors, are the ancient Irish. And I was doing past life regression meditation, so I think I also may have a past life in ancient Ireland, but we'll get talking about that in another video. And excuse me, I do have tissue here. Because it's one minute it's sunny and next minute it's rainy due to British weather. It's making my nose run, so I'm sorry about that. And so whether you're American, English, I was speaking to a really good friend of mine about it last night, and he's American Irish, he's got Irish in him, and is absolutely lovely, and I agree with him. When you have an Irish heritage, whether you're American or English, that makes you part Irish, like me and him. So you're not cultural appropriating anything. You can't steal anything from your own culture. Whether some Irish people are actually saying that, whether that's what they are saying, but you can't cultural appropriate your own culture. If they are saying that they are doing that, then they're just really delusional. They're like literally thick in the head. You can't steal from your own culture. When you have an Irish heritage, that makes you part Irish. So you're not stealing from anything. You're not cultural appropriating, whether you're American or English. Whether you're from the United States or the UK. If you've got Irish heritage, you're not causing cultural appropriation because you can't steal from your own culture. If they are actually saying that, then they're just not right in the head, and they really need to really look over the facts of what cultural appropriation is, because cultural appropriation is stealing from someone's culture and calling it your own when you have no kind of I think it's to do with when you're not kind of like Native American, but in the UK they're known as Indians. Just my personal intake on it. I know that my friend is Native American, and she said to me, "Oh, you would know it as Indians over in the UK." This is what majority of the people in the UK knows them as Indians. And it'd be like, someone from America stealing from that culture, claiming it's theirs when they have no kind of, ancestry or heritage to do with that. So that's technically classed as, that's stealing. So that's cultural appropriation. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when someone has an Irish heritage, like I've said, that makes them part Irish. So they can't steal from their own culture when they are technically Irish. Doesn't matter where they're from, English and the UK, it doesn't matter. They're not stealing. They are technically Irish, so it's not causing cultural appropriation. If that's what other Irish people are saying because they're American or from Britain, it's not cultural appropriation, because if that's what they are saying that it is, and they are thick in the head, they need to start doing their proper research, and that's all I have to say about that. So do you have to have an Irish heritage or even have the Celts as your ancestors to work with these deities? No. Just as much as that you don't need to be Greek to work with the ancient Greek deities. I mean, I'm also involved in a Greek path. I kind of, with soft polytheism, I actually kind of work with it all together. You know, I mean, also Egyptian as well. Like, doing my own thing, of course. It just feels a lot better for me, personally, for myself. So, you know, I've done numerous paths going, you know, and I'm fine with it, you know. I don't need to be Egyptian to work with the Greek deities. And even if you find out that you are Irish through ancestry DNA kit or a heritage DNA kit, you know, because not all the time, not everything goes through family. So, you have, I mean, you know, this is what you have DNA for, because sometimes you can get your results via your DNA. Not everything goes through family. So even if you find out you're Irish through that, you know, that would make you Irish, you know? So you wouldn't be stealing anything. And, you know, and if you do come across them people that make you feel like you are cultural appropriating because you're American or you're British with an Irish heritage, just shrug them off, because you know that you're not cultural appropriating anything, because you can't steal anything from your own culture. You know, it's ridiculous, and they shouldn't really be saying stuff like that, but this is what happens when you don't do the proper research. And also a bit about Ancient Ireland. From where I know so far, I am planning on ordering a book called Ancient Ireland Before the Celts. So before the Celts arrived in Ireland, my ancestors were just known as Ancient Irish. You know, Ireland was a lot different before the Celts arrived. You know, Ireland back in ancient times was a very magical place before the Celts arrived. And it was a lot different to how it was before the Celts arrived, and literally changed Ireland forever. So I am going to be ordering a book called Ancient Ireland Before the Celts, in which I'll be ordering it either tomorrow or Friday. And so I will be doing another video on about, you know, what my ancestors, Ancient Irish, were like before the Celts took over Ireland, and what they were doing and how they were living their lives and things like that. So yeah, so I will be delving more in that. So I hope this video kind of helps you guys out a little bit if you are interested in working with the Celtic deities and worried that because you're not Irish that you can't be involved in it, when in fact you can. I've done my proper research, but I knew straight away, which I think my other past kind of helped me out with it, in figuring out that it wasn't a closed practice, and that and I was getting involved in it because I do have an Irish heritage. So it kind of, you know, so I would say that my Greek path kind of helped me out a little bit in basically figuring it all out, and I just kind of fed off that, because I was saying to myself that, well, you know, it is an open practice. I'm involved in Celtic polytheism, doing my own thing with it, because of my Irish heritage. You know, it does make me part Irish, and that's why I got involved in it. And, you know, it'd be like me saying you can't be involved in the Greek religion because you're not Greek, when you don't have to be. So I kind of fed off all that in a way, to kind of, you know, do this video and, you know, and help people out that are interested in working with Celtic deities, but you don't need to have any Irish in you. If you're drawn to a deity, you know, you can work with them, you know. I mean, you know, even if you've got like an Irish friend, you know, who's Irish. Be involved in the religion out of honour of them, you know, like being respecting of the Irish culture. You can do it like that, of having great respect for it, to why you're involved in it. You know, that's not stealing anything, you know, that's just being very respectful and respecting it and honouring it, you know. Just, yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not up to us to who gets involved in a deity, to who gets involved in religion. It's actually up to the deities, you know, when you receive signs from them, when you're drawn to them, you know, because that's also a sign. As soon as you receive that, you know, that's your calling to go to them. So anyway guys, I hope this video helps you out. If you do like this video, please give it a like, and if you want to hear more from me from the future, do subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Do have a lovely day, and may the Irish, Greek, Egyptian deities bless you all. Bye.